All right, week 12, Thanksgiving. The Lions take on the Houston Texans. Let's talk about it. Hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. Season preview, we starting to wind down. We only got a few more left. We'll be done before Sunday for sure. So hopefully you guys enjoy this video. And we're going to just start off talking about the free agency, and a lot has happened over there. They traded DeAndre Hopkins to the Cardinals. They also traded for Brandon Cooks, the receiver, from the Rams. So they got a little faster. So I don't think that's an upgrade, but I mean they probably do. They also they got in a Hopkins trade. They got David Johnson, a running back from the Cardinals. They re-signed Bradley Roby out of Ohio State. Tayshaun Gibson, they safety, went to the Bears. They retained their guard Zach Fulton. Lamar Miller still remains unsigned. He got injured, I think a leg injury last year. Old veteran Jonathan Joseph heads to the Titans. They lose him. They bring in old Packer and Cowboy receiver Randall Cobb. Angelo Blackson, the 3-4 defensive end. He is now in Arizona. Vernon Hargraves, they re-signed him. I believe they got he came over from the Bucks. He had some issues over there. It was a first-round draft pick, I think, too. They re-sign and give Watson a monster extension. Bartavius Mingo, they lose him to the Bears. Senio Clement, I don't know this dude's name, left guard. They bring him back. Larry Tunsil, they traded for him last year. That's why they don't have a first-round pick this year. They bring him back. They kicker Fairbairn, they bring him back. They lose their center Greg Mance. They re-sign quarterback A.J. McCarron from Alabama. They lose Carlos Hyde. He goes over to Seattle. Brandon Dunn, they re-sign him, 3-4 defensive tackle. They bring in Michael Thomas, the safety from the Giants. They bring in another Lions player. They bring in old Lions tight end Darren Fells. They re-sign him. Brent Cuelva, I can't pronounce that. Cuelva, left tackle from the Jets. They bring him in. They bring in P.J. Hall from the Raiders, defensive tackle. They bring back Zach Cunningham. They don't bring back Joe Webb, Mike Adams, the safety, or Jaleel Adi. Joe Webb, the old quarterback that had some success for the Lions a few years ago. They let running back Tywan Jones go to the Bills. They bring back John Weeks, long snapper, DJ Reed, defensive tackle. They let him go to the Bengals. Brian Anger, the punter, they bring him back. And other than that, they bring back Phillip Gaines, the cornerback. They bring in Eric Murray from Browns as a safety. They bring back Tyrell Adams, the inside linebacker. And they bring back DeAndre Carter, the receiver. They bring back Dow Cole, the inside linebacker, and Roger Johnson, left tackle. And they let go Chris Landrum, Jordan Thomas, Isaac Whitney, Ira Savage Lewis, Stephen Mitchell, David Stimmitz, and Elijah Nicance. So they don't let those guys come back. So they had a lot going on this offseason. Don't forget Bill O'Brien is now he is now the coach and the general manager. He terrible. That's just, you just don't understand that right there. But maybe he a good guy in the locker room. All right, second round pick. They didn't have a first because of Larry Tunsil trade to Miami. They got Ross Blaylock, defensive tackle from TCU. Third round, the 90th pick, Jonathan Greenard, linebacker from Florida. Fourth round pick, Charlie Heck, offensive tackle from North Carolina. Another fourth round pick from the Dolphins, John Reed, cornerback from Penn State. And they had a fifth round pick, Isaiah Coulter, wide receiver from Rhode Island. So they didn't have a lot of picks this year, and I'm not familiar with these with the guys that they drafted, but they in a situation where free agency or bust this year. All right, look at their depth chart. Let's talk about that. Brandon Cook is listed as a starter with Will Fuller and Randall Cobb in the slot. They still got Kiki Cutie, the receiver. So they kind of small at receiver. They don't have no big receivers, but they small and shifty. So if you jam them and miss, they probably gonna be going for 7 because all of them got pretty good speed and agility. Cobb a little bit older, but he still got a little juice left. Larry Tunsil, they left tackle. Max Sharping, they left guard. Nick Martin, they center. Zach Fulton, they right guard. And Titus Howard, they right tackle. All right. So they offensive line, Tunsil ain't that good. They just paid him, but he didn't do that good last year. But they gave up so much for him, they had to pay him. Quarterback is Deshaun Watson. Starting running back is David Johnson, backed up by Duke Johnson and Buddy Howell. All right, their fullback is, who cares? Cullen. Looking at their defense, Charles Amu is their defensive end. Nose tackle is Brandon Dunn. Defensive end is J.J. Watt. They run at 3-4. All right. Whitney Merciless is the outside linebacker. Also, Breening Scarlett is the other outside linebacker. Zach Cunningham is the inside linebacker. And Bernardrick McKinney is the other inside linebacker. You go to their secondary. It's funny seeing no Jonathan Joseph there, but Vernon Hargraves is starting at one corner. Bradley Roby starting at the other corner. Eric Murray at safety. And Justin Reed at safety. So, the place kicker is Fairbairn. We already talked about that. Punter is Brian Anger. And the kick and punt returner is DeAndre Carter. So he'll be the kick and punt returner. So, I mean, looking at this roster, it's not an unwinnable game. It's going to be all about, can Watson elevate his game, elevate everybody around him? Is David Johnson still got some juice in the tank, or he going to continue to be injury prone? Can he get the ball to Cook and Fuller and Cobb? Can they step up, and how you do without DeAndre Hopkins? Can the line hold up? He took a lot of punishment even last year. Watson is a guy that's probably going to end up like Cam Newton and Andrew Luck. He just take a lot of unnecessary punishment. They haven't done a great job protecting him, and they haven't done a great job putting guys around him to get the most out the lesser, in my Pimp C voice, there. I don't know how I feel about their receiver core, because they all small and short, or they all short and fast. And they got Kenny Stills as well, too. So they deep, but they don't have that possession receiver that can move the chains. You know what I'm saying? Cook wasn't doing good with the Rams at the end. Will Fuller already probably injured. He stayed injured, and Randall Cobb is getting older out the slot. So they got speed to burn at receiver, but, with those smaller receivers, they're going to do a lot of, stacking or bunching so some of these dudes get a free release because they so damn small. But, getting rid of DeAndre Hopkins, they don't have that chain mover no more. They got a lot of dudes that can catch the slant, run the 9, run the skinny post. So we'll see what they get out of their receivers. But, Brandon Cooks and Will Fuller got somewhat of injury history, and Kenny Steele. So they got a lot of smaller receivers that's kind of fragile. I can see this thing falling apart by the time they face us on Thanksgiving, to be honest. Their offensive line, I just know Tunsil got paid, but he ain't that good. I mean, Miami Dolphins fans were saying it in my comment section on my other channel that team ain't good at all. Tunsil ain't good. They didn't mind losing them. All right, they overpaid for him, but really pretty much boiled down to Watson. I mean, Watson is a dog. Can he stay healthy? He got paid, and he just take a lot of punishment over his career, running around, not sliding. But he a bad dude, and I can see him creating some magic on Thanksgiving. But also David Johnson. If they don't get much out of David Johnson this year, that means, Watson going to be dropping back a lot and trying to pass the football. And that's just going to open them up to more injury. So don't be surprised if David Johnson and most of their receiver core and Deshaun Watson is beat down by the time we get to Thanksgiving. That should be to our advantage. You look at their defense, no more Brian Cushion, no more Jonathan Joseph. A lot of guys that was their household names. No Jadeveon Clowney. No Glover Quinn. We took him from there, though. So, I don't know a lot of these dudes on here. I know Cunningham they drafted a few years ago. Whitney Merciless is pretty good. J.J. Watt still doing the thing. But other than that, their defense look hella suspect. They lost a lot of star power over there over the years, and we're going to see, what they can do. But I do like Bradley Roby. He's a solid corner, but, we'll see what they do out this defense. If J.J. Watt go down, this whole defense going down. So it's off the strength of J.J. Watt for right now. But I don't think this for the Lions, I don't think this a bad matchup come Thanksgiving. With or without fans, it's just got to the point where, Houston is in transition. Losing DeAndre Hopkins, that was big. They get here with all these smaller corners, and they possess problems. But the good thing is we don't play them until the middle of the season. So, with injury history with Will Fuller, Kenny Stills, and Cobb being a little bit older, and Cook's having his injury history, it might be a situation where the Lions might just be catching the Texans at the right time. Now, it's also, before we get into how we match up, we also can get into, what if the Lions ain't doing good and they got a bad record coming into Thanksgiving? Some people are predicting that Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn could be fired if they don't perform on Thanksgiving and the record not good. And that's also a possibility, even though Sheila, the new owner, said that she probably gonna get them a pass this year because it's an irregular season. Now I think the news or the Free Press this morning had an article saying that Patricia and Quinn is on a hot seat, regardless of the pandemic. But that's not what Sheila Ford said. She said basically she ain't gonna like really count this year against them unless it's really bad. So, some people predicting this could be the demise, but this team on paper, they might go in there and beat Kansas City. Kansas City ain't got no corners right now. They might go in there and beat Kansas City, but to be honest, I just see a lot of dudes with injury history on their team. Watson began taking a lot of hits. Johnson dealt with injury. Fuller always injured. Kenny Steele's been injured. Cook's been injured. I can see it falling apart by the time we see them. But offensively, it starts off with stopping the run all the time with the Lions. But offensively, containing Deshaun Watson and making him beat you through the pocket. Not using his legs. He can single-handedly beat you with his legs. So keeping him in the pocket, stopping the run, keeping Watson in the pocket, and don't let some of these shiftier receivers get deep. You know what I'm saying? Because if you get too aggressive and you miss the jam, you're going to get smoked by Fuller. He might not be healthy for this game, but you get smoked by Cooks. You get smoked by Cobb in the slot. They got a lot of shifty receivers. So, like I said before, they should have some of the most explosive plays in the NFL this year with their receiving core and their quarterback, and even with David Johnson, as long as they can stay healthy. But, it ain't really nothing scary about them other than they speed at receiver and Watson's speed with the ball in his hands, So, just keep them in the pocket, stop the run, and then, make sure, you don't let these shifty receivers, get the big play. Make sure if they catch the ball, they get hit and don't get that yak neither. Because all them dudes, all four of them can go to the house. Steels, Fuller, Cooks, and Cobb. So defensively, it might be one of the better matchups for the Lions, depending on how some of these other dudes perform. Run the ball, protect Stafford, and take advantage of Hargrave and Roby if you can. And Roby is another dude who dealt with injury history. You know what I'm saying? So, J.J. Watt been injured of recently. So we're looking at a situation where, the Lions offensively got some matchups that they can protect Stafford. I love Galladay versus Hargraves or Roby. I love Johnson versus them. I love, Amendola versus whoever played a slot. So the Lions, this should be a dub on Thanksgiving, depending on who healthy and who not healthy. You know what I'm saying? This ain't the worst matchup. Houston low-key in the transition mode. They are. They in the transition mode of being, kind of moving on from Watson, moving on from some of the other defensive players they had over the years and trying to replace them. Now, maybe they plug and play and they replace them with ease and some of these dudes step up and they dominant. But this is not a team that I see. It's not a team that I see, being dominant this year. Unless, their receivers stay healthy, David Johnson return to form, and they defense step up. You know what I'm saying? Watson can do a lot. Watson can probably get them to the playoffs. But just looking at their roster, I don't see Super Bowl caliber. And I could be wrong, but I think we got a good chance of beating them on Thanksgiving. If it come down to saving Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia butt on Thanksgiving, they should have a good chance. But we don't know if we're gonna be healthy with Stafford, and we already got injuries in the running back. You can have injuries to either side of the ball on the line. So that's the issue, but it's not a not winnable game. It's a good game if they allow fans to go to attend. You only see Watson every once in a blue moon, and he is a tremendous talent, and he can beat us by himself. He can beat a lot of football teams by himself. But what you got to understand is with him is, he just took a lot of hits over his career, and it's just like he got paid too. The clock is kind of ticking down on seeing him, get injured and be like Lucky Cam. So unless he changes his game and they do a better job protecting him, and he learn to stay in the pocket, you never know. He gonna be banged up by week 12 I said this game is, but it is at the crib, and I'm excited. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully we got full fans in attendance, but I doubt it. With this Corona scare, and it was this college football player from this small college, California, Pennsylvania, that passed away. So my prayers go out to him and blessings go out to him and his family. That they saying that he died from Corona complications, but it's, I don't know. They already talking about if they don't finish the season, they might shorten it. They already got a backup plan. So, just look out. But hey, let me know what you guys think about the season preview. Don't forget me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can reach out if you got business, question, card, sponsorship, video requests. All my social media links there. Want to make a donation? Cash App, PayPal, subscription. Cash App, CJ Good 313. Best way to donate is share the video. Don't forget, check out the Detroit Lions Talk playlist for more videos and the Lions one-on-one for the live streams. One time for the one time. Goodfellas Sports, Morrissey Sports Talk. Don't forget, check out the channel.